Here's the thing, humankind. When we choose to live our lives according to God's rules sincerely, then we become people of peace and goodness towards other humans, leading by example of the right ways to be, caring, forgiving, strong in kindness, keeping with equally good treatment of all humans, just in our decisions, and solid in our faith about God and His promises. Even when we don't want to behave in right ways, we do our best to, because God says to in His holy word. The Bible is our instruction book and lets us know what God's rules are. When we do the work of putting aside our ways and choose to obey God's rules about how we should behave and think as we live our lives, then we become better quality humans, less selfish and more selfless, and more kind to others. Basically, respectful and respectable in our goodness. When we choose to live our lives by our own rules, we just end up choosing ourselves in more and worse ways as we go. This leads to us becoming self-centered, greedy, angry, self-entitled, hateful, lust-driven, harsh, cruel, cold-hearted, impatient. I trust that you all get the point. By becoming such creatures, we show that we are crappy creators, because any human who lives those ways are pretty crappy humans. When we choose to live our lives by God's standards of behavior, no matter what we go through, then we become incredibly good creations and show that God is an incredibly good creator, because only God's power, real, pure, holy, divine love, could be what keeps any human ever from being destroyed by life on earth and utterly demolished into a cold, hollow, heartless, evil thing, one that is utterly incapable of anything that is any kind of sincere goodness. As God's creations, we let His love and good ways of being define who we are, and that makes us His creations. Of course, this only applies to the humans who sincerely follow God's rules. For the record, talk without walk doesn't count. So make sure that you practice it if you dare to preach it. This is why I keep using the word sincerely throughout these videos. So all of the fake Christians out there had better pay good attention here. Also, there are many humans who are God's creations and don't know it yet. They spend much of their lives walking God's ways of goodness without much talking about God. But that's okay and still counts, because God will get their attention in His perfect timing. The next video, part 3, makes clear some important points about all of this.